Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Marta and today we're going to talk about big lift kits on Subarus. So browsing through my social media, I've noticed there's more and more big lifted Subarus getting out there. So I thought, why not? This is the perfect time to talk about big lift kits on Subarus. Now when I'm talking big lift kits, I'm talking your 4-inch plus lift kits with subframe spacers. So in this video, we're going to look at the pros and cons of having a big lift kit like that. And I'm going to try to show and explain to you guys how they actually work. So why do you want to go a bigger lift kit? So I guess the main benefits of bigger lift kits on the Subarus is you get better approach and departure angles, and then the other thing is you can then fit larger tyres as well. Now when we look at big lift kits on a negative side, they're going to be a lot more expensive than what your standard lift kits are going to cost because you're adding that subframe to it, so a whole heap of other components so that you're basically lowering your driveline. So there's the extra expense involved in lifting your Subaru to that 4-inch plus. And the other thing is that in a lot of places you have to actually be really careful with your local road rules and regulations, because let's say in Australia where I live, you're actually only allowed a 2-inch lift kit. So a 4-inch lift kit has to be legally engineered to be able to run on the road. So definitely one of the things you have to be cautious with the bigger lift kits is make sure you read up on your local rules and regulations to make sure you can actually run the kit. So now that we've looked at the pros and cons of bigger lift kits and why you'd want to get one, I'll try to explain to you guys how they actually work, particularly in relation with the CV angles. So the first thing to remember is that different Subaru models can take a different amount of lift. So when we're talking the older model Subis with the McPherson strut setup, they can actually take a 2.5-inch lift at the front and a 3-inch lift at the rear. Whereas the newer Subarus with a multi-link rear suspension, they can only take a 2-inch lift in the front and a 2.5-inch at the rear. So as you notice from that, the rear end can take about 1/2 inch of lift more than the front can. Now this is partly because it doesn't take as much stress as the front end, because the front end has that whole steering assembly in there, which adds a lot of movement and stress to the CVs. And in addition to that, the 1/2 inch is actually there to compensate for the rear sag when the vehicle is loaded. Now I'm going to show you this animation to show you how lift kits with subframe spacers work. Here we have a standard SG Forester with some mud tyres sitting on stock suspension at standard height. Now we're going to add a 2.5-inch lift kit, which is the maximum lift this model can take at the front. You will notice the strut top spacers lifts the body and the driveline further off the ground and gives the car more diff clearance. This also increases the angle of the CVs. Now we are going to add a 4.5-inch lift and 2-inch subframe spacers. The subframe spacers drop the driveline 2 inches off the car body, and as you can see, the CV angle isn't changed to the previous 2.5-inch lift. However, the car body is now an extra 2 inches higher, giving it better approach and departure angles. The subframe spacers therefore keep the CVs at a reliable angle. However, you cannot change the diff clearance anymore with the lift, as the 2.5-inch front is the maximum the CVs can take. The only other option for more diff clearance now is to add bigger tyres. Now I find adding larger tyres is also an interesting topic. Adding larger tyres can give you more diff clearance, but at the same time, going too large of a tyre, you're going to add a lot more stress to that driveline, as well as reducing your crawling ability. Hence why I think it's very important to have a good mid-range tyre, which is a little bit bigger than stock, so it gives you a little bit more diff clearance, but at the same time you're not going too large, so you can still keep a little bit of that crawling ability. I tend to find my 215 75R15 that I'm running on my Forester is a very good tyre to run on the Subis, and I wouldn't look at going much bigger than a 235 75R15, because I think after that you're just going to lose out on too much crawling ability. Alright, now that we've talked about big lift kits and how they work, and hopefully my animation has explained it to you guys a little bit better, how it works in relation to the CV angles. You've probably noticed this box over here. So yeah, you've probably guessed by now, I have actually purchased my own monster lift kit for my Subaru. So let's dive in and have a look at it. Now the lift kit I've got here is a Subilift Oz monster lift kit, which consists of a 4-inch front lift and a 4.5-inch rear lift. So the Subilift Oz monster lift kit literally contains every part you need, so you don't have to custom fabricate anything or drill into anything. Everything is here. literally just ready to bolt on, which is absolutely awesome. Now I've gone with SubiLift Oz not only because they've supported me from the very start, but they are a very good quality kit. The SubiLift Oz lift kits are CAD designed, CNC laser cut, and made of 6061 T6 billet aluminium and 6mm steel for ultimate toughness. On top of that, the front strut top spacers have camber and caster built into them so that you can keep your alignment specs to factory specifications. Now when it comes to the pricing of this specific lift kit, which is the 4-inch front, 4.5 rear, that lift will come to 1,490 Australian dollars, including free shipping Australia-wide. Now if you want the additional powder coating like I have, I got the safety yellow, which will match nicely with my yellow King Springs. That is an additional $45 Australian, and you can get it powder coated in a heap of different colors, so it's a pretty cool feature. Obviously these prices are subject to change, so this is what the current prices are when this video comes out, but if you're watching this in the future, be aware that the prices may change. Now I'm not going to pull every single part out at the moment, because at the moment all the parts are packaged nicely and labeled, and they're sort of packaged for certain areas of the lift. So when it comes to actually installing the lift, I can just grab a package and then install that part separately. So I've just pulled out a few parts here, like the strut top spacers and the rear trailing arm spacers. And I'm just going to give you a run through exactly what comes in the 4.5 inch monster lift kit from SubiLift Oz, and then we can go from there. Now to start off with, I'll grab the strut top spacer. Now this is the same as you would have on your 2-inch, 2.5 inch lift. Literally same design, but you've got that extra 4 inches of lift built into it. Same as the other ones, camber and caster offset. These have been custom powder coated in safety yellow. Again, same thing with the trailing arm spacers, same as you would find on your standard lift, obviously just a little bit bigger to compensate for that 4.5 inch rear. Same solid design, everything is nicely welded. This is 6mm steel, has the SubiLift Oz logos in it, and again, powder coated in safety yellow. Now a new really interesting feature of the lift kit is these adjustable pitch stop mounts for the engine. So previously they were just extended. I believe this is the second kit in the world with the adjustable pitch stop in them. So this is a new feature that's going to be out in all the new monster lift kits that are sold from now on. So yeah, this is a really cool feature, highlight of the new lift kit. So basically a lot easier to install, and yeah, it gives you that little bit of adjustment, which is really cool. So when you get this lift kit, another thing you get obviously is you get your instructions. So very detailed instructions here, written by Matt from SubiLift Oz. This is pages worth of information in here. It literally tells you every single step of the way. This lift kit, if you've got basic mechanical tools and knowledge, you should be able to install yourself. Follow this guide step by step and you should be able to do it within 1 to 2 days. As well as the instructions, we have a heap of stickers that come with the SubiLift Oz lift kit. So for those who love the stickers, plenty come with the kit. Now this kit actually comes with Nylethane adjustable camber bolts for the rear. This is a mod that you'll have to do even if you do have a 2-inch lift. The rear from factory has no camber adjustment, so you can chuck them in and adjust your rear camber back to factory specifications. Now I've already got a set of these from the old lift, so these are going to be handy just as a spare that I could take on trips and stuff. So yeah, they're in there. Getting into the nitty-gritty parts of the lift kit, we've got a heap of small packages here that contain literally everything you need, from bolts and spacers and extensions to radio hoses and stuff like that. So all these components are part of the subframe drop, all labeled really easy, so when you follow the instructions you can literally just grab one of these kits by their number and then install them. Now I plan to install this lift kit in the upcoming weeks. Obviously I'm going to do it myself on my driveway, so I'm going to demonstrate to you guys that it can be done by yourself. I think I'm going to do this in 2 parts, so I think I'm going to do one overall video installing the lift kit. I think that video is more so going to be a entertaining video, just a really quick overview of how I installed it, and it won't be very detailed. And then I think I'm going to do a very detailed step-by-step guide. So for those of you who want to see step-by-step how everything's installed, there's going to be a really detailed one. For those of you guys that just want to see an entertaining video of a monster lift kit install, there's going to be one of those as well. Now obviously that leaves the question, what's going to happen with my old lift kit? Now that is going to be interesting because I'm going to give that away to one of you guys. Now, I'm going to release the competition details in an upcoming video, but basically once it's out of the vehicle and I've got this kit installed, that old lift kit is then going to be part of a giveaway that is going to go to one of you guys. So stay tuned for upcoming videos to see me install all this and for the competition details to win my old lift kit. Thanks for having a look at my in-depth review of the Subi Lift Oz Monster Lift Kit. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got a bit of information out of it, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.